You are watching Matt's Minis, a Louis Lafleur program. This is a free episode available due to the graciousness of Mr. Lafleur himself. Please support the Patreon at www.patreon.com/LLPQ to watch all Matt's Minis episodes, including ones from past seasons, and other wonderful programs.
These are Matt's Mini Movies, presented by Mr. Louis. These are Matt's Mini Movies, presented by Mr. Louis.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Matt's Minis, presented by Mr. Louis Lafleur. I am Matt Johnson. This is for the week of March 6, 2025. Might have skipped a little bit around, but what matters is that I have lots of movies. First movie of the week is Pride and Prejudice by J. Wright, 2005. This might even be the first Jane Austen movie that I've watched, period. I'm trying to think of any others that I might have. I got the general idea of what it was. I mean, I already knew, basically, I generally don't really care about some romance movies, but there's some funny, subversive-y kind of stuff going on. A lot of it is like a movie of little subtleties and stuff, which I guess probably was because of the time period or whatever. And you have to be so stupid and proper and bullshit. I'm very glad watching any movie from this time that I was not alive in it, because it seems like actual hell for everybody. Especially when you get other glimpses of their lives outside of the whole like parading around and having to be proper and all that shit, when it's just like some women together in their house, sisters and daughters and stuff, where they can actually just be themselves and not have to deal with this horrible bullshit. So many little, phrasing like issues and little things that can just be taken in the wrong way and all the time, and you have to be so precise about what you're saying and how you're looking, and every kind of stupid thing like that just makes me want to kill myself. So watching this is just so brutal for that kind of thing. Yeah, I guess a nice little story. I don't think I'll probably read a Jane Austen novel. Maybe I will. This didn't make me want to go read Pride and Prejudice, I guess, but it's fine. For my Matt's Minis movie mobiles in the movies, obviously this is a very low-key horses and carriages movie, as you could have guessed. So it's a nothing for the mobiles. I'm going to give it a 1 out of 10 on the mobiles.
I must conclude that you simply seek to increase my love by suspense.
Sir.
According to the usual practice of elegant females.
Sir. I am not the sort of female to torment a respectable man. Please understand me. I cannot accept you.
Headstrong, foolish child.
After Pride and Prejudice, I did watch Sense and Sensibility by A. Lee, 1995. Obviously, very similar, things that it's talking about, and the shitty societies of the time, and the douchiness of every male that's ever existed, and stuff like that. And also very much the class issues that existed in Pride and Prejudice and here again. But this one I thought was way funnier. It probably helped that supporting character woman that's trying to set everybody up is just the most painful person to ever exist. If she was part of my life, I would have run away at age 5 probably, that type of thing. Yeah, it was just cracking me up the whole time. And then they're half brother sister relationship that it opens up with, and they're just he's the dumbest person alive and she's just the most horrible, and mixing together them and then not helping at all with the rest of the family and stuff is just definitely similar to the Pride and Prejudice, with these small subtle things that are the issues between people, and having to present yourself in certain ways and all of this stuff. But I thought I just thought this one was much more enjoyable and funny and more relatable, I guess, and everything. Everything just revolves around having to be with a rich person to carry you through your life, basically, whether you're a man or a woman, it seems. So, for my Matt's Minis movie mobiles in the movies, same thing as Pride and Prejudice. 1 out of 10, again, why not?
How do you do, Colonel?
How does he do? How do you do, more like? Go on in. And they're waiting for you. Come right.
That was Sense and Sensibility. Enough. Jane Austen's next movie of the week is called Red Riding, the Year of Our Lord 1974 by J. I don't know. Jess. What did I write? Jarrold? I don't know what I wrote, so oh well. 2009. Part of some like BBC, maybe a mini series of movies. But I mean, it's still full movies. I don't know. I only watched this first one. Spoilers for, I guess, for the rest of the episode, because Andrew Garfield's in it and my girlfriend likes him. Crime movie in the 70s, and I don't know what the other parts were. There's no way that they're like continuation, because the end of this is bloody and final. So Sean Bean is the like bad guy, and he has a great 70s haircut, and you could guess what happens to him in the end, considering he's Sean Bean. And he's basically like just like runs this whole little town with his real estate operations and shit, and for some reason likes to like kill little children or something. There's like little kids going missing, and I think this is related to true stories, but I don't know how much. But yeah, being set in the 70s is very brown and yellow movie. Look, the whole thing like kind of faded, almost sepia like, which they're always doing that. You put a movie in the 70s and this is how it's just always going to look. Just can't help it, I guess. With nice, funny outfits and bell-bottom jeans. Lots of people that look familiar. English people that you've just seen all over the place popping up in random characters in this. Yeah, one of those in like not investigator, but he's like a journalist going into trying to figure out who's killing all these people and whatever, and becoming basically a little PI. Not PR. I'm thinking about work. Yeah, just a dark, fucked up movie, and also like a kind of cool conspiratorial type of thing in a little shitty town in England, and rich people doing whatever they want kind of thing. So for my Matt's Minis movie reveals in the movies, Garfield is driving around this light brown car. I don't remember, it said 1800 on it, and I didn't look up what type of car it was. Also, Sean Bean, when he first meets him, he's like pulling up to some party in his car, and he said, "You want to take a ride in the Jensen?" And I guess that's an old English car, as far as I know. I don't know. It looked like also a fancier, expensive car, I guess. One other very heavy mobile thing that happens that they don't show, but they show the aftermath of, is that Garfield's friend gets killed, basically. Like I don't know exactly how, but he's driving, and he apparently just goes into the back of this truck that's carrying a bunch of big pieces of glass that come out and just decapitate him, or just like take off half of his head or something. They don't really show the body, but they describe it a little bit, and there's glass all over the place. So would have been cooler show that next time, but it's probably not a big budget thing, since it's basically like a TV style movie, I guess. I don't know what's up with the English doing these weird like movies for TV, but they're not TV movies. Like this look like just an actual movie, but yeah, I can't remember any other mobile stuff, but some good stuff. Just some nice old English mobiles that they found from the time period. So I think I'll give it a 5 out of 10 on the mobiles.
So the van was carrying plates of glass?
Yes.
And one of them went through his windscreen?
Yes.
So you reckon we were instantaneous?
I'd say so, sir. Yes.
Yeah. Fuck.
Yeah.
All right, that was Red Riding, the Year of Our Lord 1974. Next movie of the week is called The Rules of the Game by J. Renoir, 1939. The son of the famous Renoir artist. Often cited as one of the best movies of all time, this one. An old, right before they get involved with World War II, and everybody talks about it having this, like, pre-World War II energy that, like, he was, like, predicting that the war was coming, or not predicting, because it was, like, they knew the war was coming or whatever, and so it's just, like a rich people's party out in the middle of nowhere. It had this whole kind of Gosford Park thing going on with the whole downstairs and upstairs with the, like, servants, and then the rich people that are served on, you know, like all this stuff, I guess, about how, like, the servants are having the same kind of problems as the rich people, like marital problems and shit like that. Yeah, they're all chasing after each other's wives and fucking around and stuff like that. I hated watching this. Fucking middle of this movie was like a 15-minute long, it felt like, maybe longer, hunting scene where they actually killed just like hundreds apparently of rabbits and birds and stuff, and just filmed all of it. And it's supposed to be how the rich are just like, don't give a fuck about life or whatever. They just kill it all. But it's insane because Renior himself said that he always hated hunting and thought it was like a torturous or whatever. I can't remember his exact wording. He just said it was cruel, and yet he himself like filmed hundreds of animals being killed anyway. I mean, it's nice that movies wouldn't go to this length anymore, and it just kept going on and on. And then it also made me think of Gosford Park again, because there's a hunting scene in that where they don't kill hundreds of animals, but you still get the same general vibe, and what's going, what the point of the fucking scene is. It's like, really, you have to kill all these stupid animals because of this fucking joke. For my Matt's Minis movie mobiles in the movies. So this does start with one of the characters landing his plane. Apparently he had just gone on like the big flight over the Atlantic in one go in like 24 hours or whatever, like the same shit that Lindbergh did. So he lands the plane and then like immediately has a hissy because the girl that he likes, who's like the object of affection, some rich German or Austrian woman, I think, doesn't show up to like congratulate him or whatever. Later on, actually, the same guy has this scene where he's driving their car and just drives it right off the road into a ditch, apparently trying to like kill himself, and his friend, who's they think the director of the movie, is in the car with him. He's like one of the main characters, which was kind of funny watching because like he was going 20 miles an hour and just kind of like drove off the side of the road slightly, and it's not like it's a big hill, it's just like a 5 feet down ditch, and his car just goes down there and then stops. But yeah, I think after that they're just at the house and walking around and stuff. They're not driving around in golf carts hunting or anything like that. So just a couple of little mobiles. I think I'll give it like a 3.5 out of 10 on the mobiles. Okay, that was Rules of the Game. Got a few more movies here. They're all newer movies now. First one is Undertone by Tuason. I can't read my own handwriting. 2026, really. I mean, this movie just started playing in theaters. Maybe played at some festivals last year. I don't know. But yeah, I got an early screening of this at the Dolby here. This is like a full sound movie about a woman that recording a podcast late at night in her mom's house, when her mom's like comatose and she's like taking care of her, trying to feed her and keep her alive and stuff. And then of course like stuff starts happening around the house. I guess she's having to record late at night because her partner is like in London, and talks about like, oh, I actually have to head off to work soon, which is very weird because it's like 2 a.m. or whatever for her. But of course that means, got this dark, empty house alone to yourself. We're getting camera angles from everywhere, trying to see things happening around, and she's clearly getting like more scared as time goes on. And they have this like set of 10 recordings that are just like, spooky things about it's like a dude recording his girlfriend that was like talking in the middle of the night apparently, and then of course she starts like talking backwards and in like Latin or some shit and doing all kinds of stuff. And there's a bunch of like nursery rhyme backwards stuff in this, which is funny. All the memes of playing things backwards, and then it's like summoning the devil and all that shit. So all of that kind of thrown in together, along with some strange camera work. I was liking a lot of they're just like a lot of slow panning like around the house where you're just like waiting for a jump scare or for something, and she's also looking around herself and getting just more scared, and you have little random things like moving around the house or whatever. The thing I think they kept showing in the trailer was in the background of one of the scenes, her mom like sits up even though she's comatose. There was a lot going on. It got pretty scary, I think, in the back half of it. There was a good time in the movie, especially in the Dolby with the sound. The sound design was pretty good on this. When I watched the trailer, I definitely thought it was just like a laptop movie, because you got the earbuds with the both sides and be very scared listening to this with your headphones on, dark in the middle of the night, but also good in the theater. So for my Matt's Minis moving mobiles in the movies, I'm trying to remember if she does go out like to some party or something, leaves the house, she's convinced to by her boyfriend, but I'm pretty sure that there's no car scene. Basically the whole movie is just inside of her mom's house, I'm pretty sure. But there's this whole thing about her being pregnant, so she might have had like a doctor scene, but I'm pretty sure that there was just no cars in the whole thing. So I think I got to give this a 0 out of 10 on the mobiles. All right, that was Undertone. Next movie of the week is called The Bluff by F.E. Flowers 2026. Some new movie on straight to Amazon Prime, I think, or some streaming platform that we watched it on. So not a theater joint, but with Nick Jonas's wife, I guess. I had never seen it. I think she's a Bollywood actress. And Carl Urban, Mr. Dread and Lord of the Rings, who is like this pirate. It's like a full pirate themed movie, even though it doesn't feel like it's in the whatever, I don't know, 1800s, 17 somethings. I don't know. They don't say anything. Maybe they do at some point. I have no idea. But it's on some little tiny island, and the main woman it's just like a full action movie, I guess, like almost a home invasion thing by Carl Urban and his pirate squad. And then like outside of the house, it also goes down. She has this whole like rigged up cave with booby traps and stuff, and it's almost like a Home Alone in a cave type of thing. And she's just kicking ass and killing pirates and stuff like that. A lot of it just looked, I don't know, just looked super fake and dumb to me, I thought. Especially all of the outdoor scenes. And it's called I think it's called The Bluff because they have a big fight up on this cliff at the end. And that part all just looked so ridiculous. Not in a great way. I definitely could have went more hardcore piratey for my taste. Felt like it could have easily have just been a modern movie, and there's just a few guys that are acting like pirates, I guess, or something. But nothing else about this felt really piratey, and that was really what made you watch this, I guess, dumb movie. I had really no reason to watch it, but we did anyway. So, but yeah, I mean, enough ass kicking, I guess, to keep your eyes on the screen. So, part of my Matt's Minis movie mobiles in the movies, they do show Carl Urban's big pirate ship. He's the captain, and they have little rowboats coming out to the mainland just to find her and find the gold that she has like stolen and shit like that. So that's it. Just a couple of rowboats and like a big pirate ship. So I guess I'll give it like a 2. It's just a tiny little part of the movie, really. All right, that was The Bluff. Next movie is called, which is really the last movie of the week, but I got one other thing to talk about. It's called Protector by A. Grunberg, 2020. It also says 2025, but this just started playing in theater, 2026. These dates I'm getting from Letterboxd and they're just wrong. This new Mila Jovovich movie, which is basically taken with her kicking ass instead of Liam Neeson, which I gotta go see my new Mila movies. Paul W.S. also a producer, and Mila, both producer on this movie. It's got this whole like ridiculous child trafficking stuff on the beginning, and she's like a military badass and is just absolutely just wiping the floor with anybody that comes near her. Right? It's very funny. And then Matthew Modine shows up later on, and he's like her old commanding officer, and he's basically just telling them if anybody that you send to get her is gonna die, like just pull everybody back. And of course, there's some dirty cop that doesn't give a fuck, and it keeps trying to send FBI people or whatever, other people to go and get her. SWAT team, I think, is all it is, who all just obviously end up dying. There's one funny scene, like after she kills all of them, and there's a body cam, and she goes up to it, and she's telling them, like, stop sending people after me, because they're just going to keep dying. Yeah, it's all pretty ludicrous, because she's just killing it. I mean, at first she's killing a bunch of child traffickers, so then of course you got people that are like, oh, well, she's just killing child traffickers, like, is this that big of a deal? Can't we just let her go on her revenge spree, you know? Because they're like, oh, we love this. But then she starts killing cops and stuff, and it's just I'm like, okay, no, are we just gonna keep letting this happen? And it does. It just keeps going. Pretty great stuff. It was a lot of fun. Loved watching it. Also, this movie has a big twist towards the end. It feels so straightforward the whole time, and you're just like, yeah, I mean, exactly what I came here for. But then there's a big twist, basically the very end, which is pretty funny. You could kind of see it coming a little bit because there's some flashbacky kind of dream sequence things, but good stuff. I definitely cackled in the movie theater when it happened. For my Matt's Minis movie mobiles and movies, there's a lot of mobile stuff going on in here. In the very beginning, while she's riding around in a couple like Humvees and stuff in the military in the beginning, sending messages to her daughter, and it's like the flash forward through her daughter's life and how she wasn't around and all this stuff. Then when her daughter does get kidnapped, she's brought in this SUV and they're driving off. And then the trailer, they show some of this, but she's like grabs onto the SUV, trying to, desperate to grab her, and is like hanging on and like dragging her feet, driving around in the SUV, and then gets thrown off. And then she eventually does go get her. She's driving on, I think, a Honda Pilot or an CRV or something, which she ends up just smashing into them multiple times. But then there's this scene she has she goes for a full head-on collision with the whole cartel people, and they're driving some big Suburbans or something. It's all a bunch of all of their stuff is a bunch of American cars, big, I'm pretty sure Suburbans or Expeditions or something. And she puts it in some mouth gear and goes head on into them with her Honda. She might have got another car, because after this there's still more car stuff, and it's like after a full head-on collision. But later on she goes to their like headquarters stuff where they have a bunch of women that they've been trafficking or whatever. I think it's at some hotel, and she does a little like MacGyver situation. Like she cuts her fuel line into this, she digs a little like trough in the sand where the oil goes through, and then has some like device, or little, not even device, but little thing that catches on fire and blows up the car, and she parked it right next to like the electricity thing, and it takes out the electricity in the whole building while she's in there, and proceeds to just kill everybody left and right. A lot of great mobile action. I think I'd probably give this like a 9 out of 10 on the mobiles.
I'm gonna give you one chance. Tell me where she is, and I'll let you live.
Look at you making threats. I respect that.
Okay, and then I have to mention, of course, that I watched again my Star Wars Episode 2, which I've already talked about in my Matt's Minis, so I don't have to again, but just so you guys know that I'm watching Star Wars way too often for some reason, and I love it. I love my prequels, and I love my original trilogy, and we don't speak about anything else. I wonder if I'll have to be watching this Star Wars Mandalorian and Grogu when it comes out, which just looks embarrassing. I've never watched an episode of Star Wars TV, but if it's a movie, do I have to do it? I don't know. Okay, so that's all the movies for the week. Let me sound off my ranking. If we're including Star Wars, that's number 1. But after that, we got Sense and Sensibility, Rules of the Game, despite the terrible hunting bullshit, a Pride and Prejudice, a Protector, Undertone, The Red Writing in the Year of Our Lord 1974, and The Bluff. That's all the movies, right? All right. So that's it. That's my rankings for the week. Signing off.